As the sun sets and darkness takes over, a long-abandoned house on the outskirts of town holds a terrifying secret. They say it's haunted, cursed even, but a group of fearless teenagers, eager to prove the legends wrong, decide to spend the night inside. What happens next will leave you questioning the line between reality and nightmare. Strange whispers, flickering shadows, and an entity that may be older than time itself. Are they brave enough to survive the horrors that lie within? Stay tuned, because once they step inside, there's no turning back. Are you ready to uncover what's hidden in the darkness? Watch till the end, if you dare. The village lay silent under the cold moonlight, the eerie quietness broken only by the wind that whispered through the trees. On the outskirts stood a house, forgotten by time, abandoned for years. People spoke of it in hushed tones, warning others to stay away. The house was cursed, they said, haunted by the souls of those who perished within its walls. No one dared to go near it. But one fateful night, a group of teenagers, Jack, Sarah, Emily, and Mark, decided they had had enough of the ghost stories. They were tired of hearing the warnings. They would go inside and prove the house was just an old, decrepit building, nothing more. As they walked toward the house, Jack, the bravest of them all, pushed open the creaky iron gate. "Nothing to be afraid of," he said with a grin, trying to mask his own nerves. But as they stepped into the overgrown yard, an unsettling feeling crept over them. The front door groaned as it opened, revealing a house choked with dust and cobwebs. The air was thick with the scent of decay, the floorboards creaking under their weight as they ventured deeper into the house. The walls were lined with old portraits, their faces twisted in expressions of sorrow and horror. It was as if the house was alive, watching them, waiting for them to make a mistake. "Let's explore, take a few pictures, and leave," Mark suggested, his voice trembling slightly. They moved further into the house, their flashlights flickering in the darkness. But then, something caught Sarah's attention, a strange shadow in the corner of the room. She froze. "Did you see that?" she asked, her voice shaking. "It's nothing," Jack said, dismissing her fear with a wave of his hand. "Let's go down to the basement." They descended the stairs, the chill of the basement enveloping them. The air felt heavier, suffocating. As they ventured further, a faint whisper brushed against their ears, so soft it could have been the wind. But there was something about it that felt wrong. "Did you hear that?" Sarah asked, her heart pounding in her chest. Jack laughed nervously. "It's just the house settling." But Emily wasn't so sure. "It sounds like someone is here with us." They continued deeper into the basement, but the atmosphere grew even more oppressive. The whispers grew louder, frantic. Then came the unmistakable sound of footsteps, slow, deliberate, approaching them from the darkness. "Who's there?" Jack called out, his voice trembling despite his bravado. But there was no response, only the sound of something scratching the walls. And then, a cold hand brushed against Sarah's shoulder. She screamed, spinning around, but there was no one there. Panic set in as the temperature in the room dropped drastically. The whispers turned into incoherent murmurs, and the house seemed to close in on them. "Run!" Emily screamed, but as they turned to flee, the basement door slammed shut with a deafening crash. The room went pitch black, and the sound of ragged breathing filled the air. They tried to find the door, but the walls seemed to stretch endlessly, the corridors shifting and changing, trapping them in a maze of shadows. The whispers became louder, almost deafening, and the figure from the corner of their vision was no longer still. It was moving toward them. "Get out!" Jack shouted, his voice breaking, but their flashlight flickered and went out, leaving them in complete darkness. Desperation clawed at them as they stumbled through the dark, unable to find a way out. And then, as suddenly as it had started, everything stopped. The whispers, the footsteps, the suffocating presence, it was all gone. The air cleared, and the house fell silent. They found themselves standing in the middle of the room, as if no time had passed. The door to the outside was wide open. They ran, breathless and terrified, never looking back. But as they glanced at the house one last time, they saw it, the figure standing in the window. Its hollow eyes staring at them, following their every move. And then, just like that, it was gone. No one ever saw them again. Some say the house still stands, waiting for the next group of curious souls. And the whispers? They never stopped. The entity? It's still there, lurking in the darkness, waiting for someone else to make the mistake of stepping inside. And so, the house waits.